friends, and welcome to another episode of Fully Booked. I'm Megan.
And I'm Shireen.
And we're in the middle of romance coverage.
Romance.
Ah, very nice. very, very of the mood. And, you know, I mean, God, like, at this point, to be fair, like, what better way of kind of spending the middle of August than talking about summer romance, specifically of all things, too. I know we kind of, this sort of diverges a little bit, but the beginning of this series is a full summer romance.
I mean, yes. And, like, to be fair, like, when we were like, oh, romance, because it's August, like, I think we were both envisioning summer romance.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
So this is slotted in.
We needed one.
Yeah, we needed at least one.
We needed one in there. Okay, so at the time that we're recording this, I'm going to preface this with a couple of things. At the time that we're recording this, not every episode of the third and final season of The Summer I Turned Pretty has been released yet on Prime. They're doing stupid weekly releases, which has totally delayed us in multiple different ways, but we kind of, like, just schedules being what they are, we didn't want to wait any longer to talk about stuff. And, you know, we can talk through a few things because I've read all 3 books in the series as well, so I know where this is going. But anyway, we wanted to kind of do a little bit of a retrospective because now we've kind of basically watched all 3 seasons of the show, so you have a good idea of everything. I've read all of the books, so I've also seen kind of what they've done with this as well. Anyway, so this will just kind of give us a bit of a jumping off point of just, like, kind of like where the series started, where it went and stuff, and, you know, kind of how we felt about it before versus how we feel about it now, which I think we have different feelings about it now than we used to.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Do I ever have like, if season 1 versus season now?
Yes.
I'm just like, fuck this show at this point. Like, I don't care anymore.
No, I know. So the, it's very different that way too. So the series is based on a series of novels called Summer I Turned Pretty as well by Jenny Han, who also wrote To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Yep. Which, again, I've also read all 3 books in that series. I have watched all of the movies that came out. I've even watched Kitty's spin-off.
Oh, did you?
The Exo Kitty. It's whatever. It's cute.
Yeah.
You know? It's a show to have on while you're, like, cooking and stuff. You know what I mean?
You're a lot better than I am at that, though. Like, when I put something on TV, like, I want to watch it. But you're good at, like, catching things in the background.
You know what it is? I'm okay at catching things in the background, but I also have gotten really good at picking the shows like that where I can kind of watch most of one episode. Like, I'll sit and watch the beginning, and if I know what it's going to turn into, like, I know, like, okay, this is the kind of show this is, I will start doing something.
Oh, fair enough.
I'll get up, I'll start doing something. I'll be, like, writing a review for the site. Like, I'll be doing something else. I don't really mind. Yeah. Anyway. So this is the third and final season. There are 3 books in the series as well. And I will say, like, overall, storyline-wise, they do follow a pretty similar path from start to finish. And weirdly, too, the way I'm feeling about the seasons of the show is largely the way that I felt about the books, where I quite enjoyed the first book. Yeah. But with the second, especially the second, I did not like very much. But even in the third, the characters were insufferable.
I'm, like, ready to, like, jump through my TV and punch her in the face.
Yeah, and I will say, I guess, so I have, like, different kinds of feelings about it. In the books, when I read the books, I hated Belly. I thought she was so irritating.
She is irritating.
All the time. And I will say that it's still partially the case, but overall I find that Lola Tung does a better job of portraying that character. I find her less whiny.
I don't find her whiny. I find her...
She's very whiny in the book.
I find her very naive.
She is.
Way too forgiving.
Oh, God.
Way too forgiving.
Yeah, well, that's frustrating no matter what. But
and anyway. I just find her, like, weirdly goofy at weird points.
Yeah, there are some times where you're like, they just shoehorned this in, and it didn't need to be silly like this.
Well, that's it. Like, I'm like, I guess her character is supposed to be kind of silly.
It's because I think the problem is that now that we're 3 seasons in and time has passed and she's meant to be older, I'm having trouble grasping the naivete of this early 20s. Like, when she was young, she was like 17 in the first season, and I was like, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and she was going through, like, all of these changes for the first time and having people notice her in a different way. Like, that's literally the point. It's the title. It's the Summer I Turned Pretty, where she suddenly looks more, like, feminine than she did before, and the guys in her life are noticing it more. It's those things. So I could understand it more, but they kept that characterization throughout the other seasons, and I don't like that.
Well, it's just weird. It's like the actress was, like, directed to, it was like
to infantilize her character.
Yeah, you can see, like, weird spots where they're like, oh yeah, that's right. Like,
oh, she's supposed to be.
Yeah, like, so do a bit of that right now.
Yeah, I know you're right. It doesn't feel like it fits very well well with what's going on. Anyway, so, you know, I think actually we talked about the first season of the show after it had come out. So we already had done like a recap of that. I hated the second season, so I didn't even want to talk about it.
I don't think I actually finished the second season.
I don't blame you. It was boring. It wasn't very good. And like this season, we're like, 5 episodes in, and I'm like, oh God. Anyway.
Well, I'm just mad this season.
I know you are. It's true because you didn't. It's true that you going in, I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I had already like mentally, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, but I'm like texting.
Storyline.
I'm like,
but she's texting me. She's like, what the hell is happening? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know. She's like, and she gets engaged to him, and I'm like, yeah, it's not great.
I was hoping that when I text you to be like, what do you mean she gets engaged? You were gonna be like, oh yeah, haha, psych, that doesn't actually happen, or like, you know, nope, it really does happen.
They do that. They do get engaged.
Yeah.
Anyway, so because basically Shireen's whole gripe, right, is that, like, again, getting into spoilers, but that you know, her and Jeremiah have been together for like 3 years basically at this point,
which is like 3 minutes.
And she finds out that he cheated on her while they were on a break, which was very Friends. I was like, oh guys, come on, we haven't done that since the early 2000s.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. When he was like, we were on a break, I'm like, okay, Ross.
You were like, I'm not supposed to hear that from someone
like,
now.
Jeez.
Anyway, so they had that whole situation. He hooked up with someone when he was on vacation and never told her about it.
Until she goes to a party and the same girl is there
talking about it a bit, and she overhears it, et cetera, so kind of they break up for a period of time, but her brother Steven is in a car accident, and obviously Jeremiah is helpful. He loves Steven, they're good friends, he loves Belly, and
but
so
like, he's hardly helpful.
I know.
Like, okay,
Taylor's helpful.
Taylor's helpful, but in the show, they just are like, oh, there's Jeremiah sleeping on like the chairs in the waiting room, and Belly's like, oh my God, he's perfect. I need to marry him, and I'm like, Barb.
No, you're so right. It's true. As I will say, and this is how I felt in the second season as well. So I guess I'm not surprised that it translates over to this last season. And we even talked about this when we talked about We Were Liars last month. I have so much more interest in the storylines of the peripheral characters.
Yes.
So, like, Steven and Taylor's dynamic, I find is so much more interesting.
I want to know more about that.
I want more about the stuff her helping her mom, who's a hot ass mess. I want to see more of the stuff with Laurel and her ex-husband. Steven and Belly's dad, like their dynamic. Again, as usual, I said this when we were watching. I want to know what's going on
with Conrad.
I will say, like, you know what, like, for all of like the garbage, at least Conrad's like not portrayed super terribly. In the third book, I remember I really hated, and I don't know if they're going to do this in this season of the show, because I feel like they're shuffling over to some narration on his part, but he does this really icky thing in the third book when Belly and Jeremiah get engaged, where he starts, like, you know, he's like sort of basically being like, you know, I haven't said anything in these last few years because I didn't feel like I had a right to, but now, like, they're engaged, he's marrying Belly, my Belly, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, but he's already shifting over to this thought process where he's like, I'm in love with her, like with that character.
Which we knew, which we know, like with his friend and stuff. Like, and we know, and I get that, but you're kind of like, it was the way that it was written in the book I really did not like. And I remember getting really annoyed with it and being like, ew, gross.
But, like, I'm sitting there watching this show, and, like, out of nowhere, I'm just like, neither of them are even cute.
Oh my God, she said this to me, like, 7 times.
Dad's like, are you okay?
I'm
like, no!
It's a generational thing, Shireen. Everybody's beautiful to somebody, but they're not all beautiful to me.
Fine, but, like, whatever. Like, I'm just annoyed because I'm like, what? And then she's going to Paris, and then she's like, oh, but we're getting married.
That I fucking hate. When she's like,
I don't want to leave you. And then Jeremiah's like, oh, good, because I don't want you to leave me either. I'm like, bah!
As soon as he said that, I was like, God, I forgot that I hated this character so fucking much.
I've never liked him.
It's not even the cheating, like, whatever. He's in his early 20s. He's going to be kind of a douchebag.
But he is a douchebag.
I know.
Like, his character is a douchebag. Like, her brother is not a douchebag.
No, Steven has, like, terrible defense mechanisms, and he does some stupid shit that you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that's like dumb boy shit. But Jeremiah at his core is not a good person. And I don't like him. Yeah. Like Conrad is an okay person.
Yeah, he is, and he's working to better himself but like, as well.
Jeremiah is exactly like their dad. Yes. Who's like a total douchebag.
And it's funny because then he hates their dad. Yeah, and I'm like, you are their fucking dad. Yeah. Like, that's who you are. That's
I've never liked Jeremiah.
No, he's selfish the way that their father is selfish. Yeah. Like, what's his name? Adam. Adam. That character is selfish at his core. You see it in the first and second seasons. Yeah. Particularly in the first season with all the back and forth because him and Susanna are getting divorced. Yeah. And you see it in the second season with wanting to buy the cousins there, the cottage and everything, like the house they have. Yeah. And all that stuff. You see a lot of that back and forth. Yeah. And it's annoying. But you're like, okay, yeah, I see why, like, Susanna was divorcing him. He's obviously a piece of shit. Yeah. And he obviously sucks, and he's, she has cancer, and he's not even there for her. Like, he's horrible. And I truly feel like the characterization of Jeremiah, if Belly got sick, he would leave her.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
They had, like, a wee little argument about... What were they arguing about? That
him
they had a break?
Not telling her that he was going on a trip with friends.
Right.
And he goes and fucks someone else immediately.
Right. Because they didn't even properly break up.
I know.
And he was like, poor me.
And then he went and did this, and he was like, well, I thought we were broken up. And she's like...
else. And she's like, what? Like...
And I mean, like, honestly, like, even, like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe you thought you were broken up, but fuck, even if you did, that was like 3 days later.
It sucks. Bro. And, like, this is, like, the love of your life.
Allegedly. Which I don't think is true. I think he's clinging on to the idea.
Because you're 20 years old.
I think he's clinging on to the idea of, like, childhood and the happiness that he, and the level of comfort that he has with Belly, but I don't think she's the love of his life. And vice versa.
I think Jeremiah is, like, your typical, like, very spoiled child.
Correct.
Who had all the attention. Yes. Everything was on him. And so now it's like, oh, well, my mom died. Oh, this happened to me. Like, so he can justify literally everything. But, like, I just hate the whole dynamic between the two of them where she's working so much harder to, like, put money aside for their wedding. She's giving up Paris. Like... He just, like, partied and forgot to look at an email properly, so now he has to, like...
to repeat a semester. Like, the giving up of Paris thing really bugs me for her study abroad semester. That really fucking bugs me. And I love... And this is also why, this is why, like, I will say, like, I'm probably going to watch the full season of this because...
Well, I have to.
Because the side characters, for me, are what are doing it now. And, like, Taylor is a fucking real one.
Oh, yeah. And she's going to, like, ream her out.
When she realizes this, because she was already the one who was like, why are you getting engaged? That's wild.
Yeah, but then she was like, I mean, if that's what you want to do...
She loves her, because she's like, you're my best friend. I love you. I will support you in what you want to do. But also, I don't blame her for the initial reaction that she had. And from what I remember in the book, Taylor's also like, why the fuck are you getting married?
It makes no sense. And they have to get married right now?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think if they said, we decided to get engaged, and they had told Laurel and Adam this, and then said, like, but, like, we'll see when we get married down the road, I think Laurel would have been better about it.
Well, yeah, but, like... Also, I have beef with Laurel's reaction.
I don't love it. I know.
Because,
I know.
In this day and age.
I appreciate it, and I definitely understand it, but I think that it's too much. And I agree with their dad. That he's like, I told you that it was gonna, that this was happening, and you were just gonna make it fucking worse.
No, you're better off just being supportive, and when it all blows up in our face, you be more supportive.
I agree.
That's all you can do. It sucks. Yep. You're gonna want to scream from the rooftops that you shouldn't do this, but it's so much better if she comes to the realization that she's marrying a shithead by herself.
100%. It's John. Sorry, I kept forgetting. I was like, oh god, what's that character's name? And it was John. Their dad's name is John. Yeah. But I feel like his approach to it, I feel, is good. Even in this, like, when they speak about it, and he says to Laurel, I understand your position, but this is happening, and if you feel like you can't be there, I can't force you. I'm gonna be there. Our daughter is getting married. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, you can't not be there when your daughter's getting married.
Oh, there you go.
Like, even when she said, will you come with me to look for my dress? Will you do that? Like, I know the answer is yes. Like, I'm not happy about this. I don't agree with your decision.
But yeah, I'm going to help you fucking pick one.
But yeah, I'm going to fucking come and help you pick a dress because I am your mom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember in the books too, I remember being like, I was like, God, this like hurts my heart to read this because it's very much this, like, that is written very, very much the same. And I remember being like, God, this is really sad.
Yeah.
Like to hear, like, read about this sort of like crack that's formed between them. I was like, oh God, this is awful.
Like, at the end of the day, is it better for you as a parent to be there for your child's milestones or to be able to say, I told you so?
Yeah, that's you
know?
Yeah. Although you can definitely see, like, Belly's very stubborn and you can definitely see where she gets it from.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean,
you know, like that sort of portion of her personality.
I am a parent now.
Yeah. I know everything because I'm a parent. No, but it's true. I understand what you mean. And look, it's possible, like, you know, I guess it's easy for us to say this because we've not experienced a situation like this. Maybe we would feel differently in our own lives with our own children. It's totally possible. But I also feel as though after the initial arguments that happen, if it's very clear still that this is not changing and these children are doing this, listen, what are you going to say? You know?
Like, I find that, like, Steven's reaction is, like, a little stupid. Like, I really got annoyed at this because he was like, oh, this is bad. Like, you guys should grovel. No. And then when Jeremiah's like, I want you to be my best man. He's like, what?
He's like, yeah, I know.
I'm like, okay, this is so dumb. Yeah, like, it's so lazy.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It is. It's stupid. You're just kind of like, I get that we're trying to get over this quickly. I feel like the people I'm most in sync with are John because he's trying to be reasonable, and Taylor as well, because I feel like both of those reactions make sense, and I would have probably the tendency to feel the same way.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like, I don't love it.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I love you. I will support you, but I don't think this is a good idea.
And if this blows up in your face, you have to know that this was your decision.
And I'm not going to run around and say I told you so.
No, but you know, in life we make choices. Yeah, and this is one of those.
And sometimes this is just a choice that happens.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. Okay, so I know where the story is going and essentially what's going to wind up happening, but I don't know, like, if they're going to change some things or exactly how they're going to go about getting there. But yeah, there's a lot to, like, Belly staying in Cousins and Conrad going back and forth and stuff like that. So the additional sort of dynamic that's going to add to things. And yes, it's probably headed where you think it's headed, basically, you know, before the end of everything. But
I hope she ends up with Conrad.
Yeah. Anyway. But
if she has to end up with one of these two boys.
Yeah, like, you know, it wouldn't be a bad turn to take for that to be like a non-thing. Yeah. Anyway. If anything though, I think I'm more curious to see if they do more with like Laurel and John and like that dynamic and Laurel's dynamic like with Belly, because I do find that those two actresses play very well off of each other as mother and daughter. I find they do a really good job of it. I'm curious to see what winds up happening with Steven and Taylor. I'm genuinely blanking on what happens with them in the books. I can't remember.
Yeah, they really need to work out their shit.
I don't think that they end up together in the book. I don't remember.
It was funny. I was watching this and Dan was like in the background kind of watching. And he was like, what was it? One of the things I said, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this show about these people. And he's like, oh God, are you almost done? Because it's painful watching you watch this show. and then we were watching a scene between like Steven, Taylor, and her mom. And he's like, oh my God, I don't even care what's going on with these people. Their lives are so boring. I'm like, I know, like, they're just kind of creating drama from nothing, you know? Yeah. And like, it's like all these people are like, you know, they're wealthy, they have great opportunities in life, like they could literally do anything and they're like squandering opportunities or they're messing things up or something.
Like purposefully, like it being like, oh, you're like the one person who got accepted into the study abroad program, but you're not gonna go.
You're not gonna
get out of here.
Get out of here. Like, you know, it's like fucking my Oxford year, you know, I'm gonna go work at Goldman Sachs, but psych, no I'm not.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's it. They were just if anything, that's it. It's just like the side things and the other stuff going on that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, see, that's it. Like, you know, like Taylor having to genuinely struggle with her mom who's having these financial issues and is like a hot ass mess of a person. Also, oh my God, her mom is played by the girl from Cabin in the Woods. I was like, hey,
that's who she is.
Yeah. She's like the main character.
That's who
She's the final girl in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hey, I know her.
Yeah.
You know, like that dynamic I find is way more, I feel like across the board, the mother-daughter stuff is really well done in this show and way better to watch than like the relationship dynamics.
Totally.
And we'll kind of see. Anyway, look, the show is ending, so we'll kind of see what winds up happening. Also, I know that, what's his name, who plays Jeremiah there, Gavin Kezablegno or whatever, is in a little bit of hot water right now because of that fucking Dunkin' Donuts ad that he just did recently. So that's like its own thing. It follows the same track as that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. So you were just looking at me all confused. Yeah, I'll show it to you. It's similar, and I'm sure that a lot of people have some thoughts about that now. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. But we'll see if this follows the full trajectory of the books. I feel like maybe in like another episode that we're recording once the full season's done, we can just do like a 5-minute wrap up or something, just of like final thoughts after. But yeah, this is definitely one of those that, unfortunately, I was kind of hoping that there would be maybe different dynamics in the TV show than there were in the books when I read them. But unfortunately, it's really following the same trajectory in that I enjoyed the first one. There was a level of innocence to it that made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I really, really disliked kind of everything that came afterward.
But this is kind of par for the course with all of these.
I know.
Like, the kissing booth.
Oh my god, those fucking
That was
movies.
another one, you know.
Oh, those were terrible.
Like, they start off well.
They start off like, okay, the kissing booth was not good. The first one was also not good.
Okay, fair. But like, they start off with like, and maybe it's because it's new,
maybe,
you know.
Maybe,
so
you're more forgiving of it because you're like, okay.
And then by the third one, you're just like, oh, fuck this. I hate these characters.
Yeah, it's true. They're pretty terrible. Like, but I will say too, both in terms of the books and the movies, or TV shows in this case, I did prefer To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Out of all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in the sense of, like, because those were all written by Jenny Han, for instance. Yeah. And I will say, like, in reading the books, I preferred To All the Boys. They're in high school for the whole thing. So that level of naivete works really well and translates really well. I like Lara Jean as a character is funny and is more fun. Yeah. The movies overall I thought were better done.
Santino's super cute.
Yeah. Those movies I thought overall were better done than The Summer I Turned Pretty.
More believable.
Sort of. Yeah.
Like I believed the characters more. Yeah. Like it was a little bit more realistic. Whereas like this one, like, that's what bugged me. Like, as soon as Dan said, like, oh my god, their lives are so boring and they're just creating drama for the sake of it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they kind of are. Like, they have everything laid out for them perfectly and they're just fucking up.
Finding reasons to fuck it up, like, on purpose, essentially, which is just really irritating.
Very much so.
Anyway, if you have thoughts about any of this, or maybe you feel differently about the books than I did, totally possible. That was just kind of like my feelings about it. But if you feel differently about this or about the show or anything, feel free to let us know. Obviously, check out everything we've got going on for the rest of the month over on the website at fullybooked.ca. Follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky. Search for Fully Booked CA and you'll find us. But until next week, guys, keep on reading.
Thanks, everyone.